For the rest of your life, if you want to be wealthy and happy, you must first understand that true wealth does not begin with the work of your hands, but with the condition of your heart. Many people chase success the way the wind chases dry leaves, scattered in every direction, restless, unstable, ungoverned. But when your heart is aligned with the will of God, success becomes a companion, not a pursuit. Happiness becomes a river that flows even when the world around you is dry. Wealth becomes more than what you possess. It becomes what you attract by the spirit you carry. For the rest of your life, if you want to be wealthy and happy, you must confront the truth that the enemy of greatness is not outside you but inside you. It is the voice that tells you you cannot. The voice that tells you you will fail. The voice that tells you this is too much for someone like you. And yet, that same voice trembles when the light of God rises within you. You must silence that inner darkness by feeding your spirit with light. Because the mind that is filled with truth cannot be controlled by fear. Wealth runs away from fear. Happiness avoids a heart that is divided. But both are magnetized by boldness, courage, and spiritual clarity. For the rest of your life, if you want to be wealthy and happy, you must learn that the greatest battle is not in the marketplace, not in the business world, not in your education, not in your connections, not in your bank account. The greatest battle is within your decisions. The moment you decide who you will be, the world adjusts itself around your identity. Heaven stands with you. Heaven fights for you. Heaven opens doors for you. But when you keep changing your mind, when you allow doubt to speak louder than destiny, when your steps are controlled by other people's opinions, you disconnect yourself from the flow of divine supply. You must understand something. Poverty is not the absence of money. Poverty is the absence of purpose. Happiness is not the absence of sorrow. Happiness is the presence of meaning. Wealth is not the abundance of possessions. Wealth is the abundance of direction. When a man knows where he is going, everything he needs begins to follow him. When a woman knows what she is sent to do, she does not beg for favor. Favor recognizes her. When your heart is rooted in divine purpose, you carry an atmosphere that announces your future before you even speak. For the rest of your life, if you want to be wealthy and happy, you must rise above the temptation to measure yourself by what other people have achieved. Comparison is the thief of destiny. When you compare yourself to others, you insult God's uniqueness in you. Destiny does not make duplicates. Destiny does not photocopy greatness. Destiny does not create a second version of anything. What belongs to you is tailor-made. Your blessing is customized. Your breakthrough has your name written on it. No one can steal what God has assigned to you unless you abandon it by doubting yourself. And I want to tell you today, wealth is not reserved for the people you admire from a distance. Happiness is not reserved for motivational speakers. Abundance is not reserved for those who look more educated or more connected. God does not bless people according to appearance. He blesses people according to alignment. When your heart is positioned correctly, your hands will prosper naturally. When your thoughts are disciplined, your behavior becomes unstoppable. And when your spirit is obedient, your life becomes a testimony waiting to happen. For the rest of your life, if you want to be wealthy and happy, you must master the art of guarding your heart. Not every voice should enter you. Not every opinion should influence you. Not every criticism should touch you. Some of you lose your direction because you are listening to people who cannot hear what God told you. You take instructions from those who have no revelation of your assignment. You let the fears of others become the blueprint of your decisions. You allow the bitterness of others to poison your joy. And then you wonder why your progress slows. You wonder why your path becomes unclear. You wonder why anxiety grows stronger. Guard your heart, because your heart is the engine of your destiny. Your heart is the soil of your prosperity. Your heart is the gate through which the blessings of God enter. If your heart is polluted, your future becomes polluted. If your heart is discouraged, your opportunities become limited. If your heart is wounded, your ability to grow becomes weakened. For the rest of your life, you must protect your heart the way a warrior protects his sword, because your heart is what God uses to lift you. For the rest of your life, if you want to be wealthy and happy, you must learn the discipline of patience. Many people destroy their blessings because they rush ahead of God. They plant a seed today and want a harvest tomorrow. They start a journey today and want to arrive this evening. They build a foundation today and want a mansion next week. But anything that grows too fast is either artificial or unstable. Divine success takes time because God develops you before He elevates you. He strengthens your character before He increases your finances. He sharpens your discernment before He expands your influence. Patience is not waiting with frustration. Patience is waiting with expectation. Patience is not weakness. Patience is spiritual maturity. Patience is what separates the blessed from the envious, the strong from the desperate, the wise from the impulsive. When you learn to wait well, you position yourself for blessings that last a lifetime. For the rest of your life, if you want to be wealthy and happy, you must understand that gratitude is the gateway to abundance. A grateful heart attracts more. A grateful spirit welcomes favor. A grateful mind multiplies blessings. There are people who are never happy because they refuse to see what God has already done. They focus so much on what is missing that they fail to celebrate what is present. But when you thank God for the small things, He gives you the grace to handle big things. When you celebrate what you have, He prepares you for what is coming. When you honor the little, you unlock the door to the extraordinary. Wealthy people are grateful people. Happy people are grateful people. Fulfilled people are grateful people. Gratitude transforms your atmosphere. Gratitude changes your energy. Gratitude opens your eyes to opportunities you could not see before. Gratitude increases your capacity to receive. For the rest of your life, if you want to be wealthy and happy, you must train your mind to think possibility even when the situation looks impossible. God does not respond to fear. God responds to faith. Faith is not ignoring reality. Faith is commanding reality. Faith is not pretending everything is fine. Faith is declaring that everything must align with God's promise. Faith does not beg, faith decides. Faith does not run away, faith confronts. Faith does not surrender to circumstances. Faith forces circumstances to surrender to destiny. When your mind is filled with faith, your words carry authority. When your words carry authority, your environment begins to obey your voice. When your environment obeys your voice, your life becomes a manifestation of God's greatness. For the rest of your life, if you want to be wealthy and happy, you must invest in your character more than your comfort. Comfort deceives. Character strengthens. Comfort is temporary. Character is permanent. Comfort makes you slow. Character makes you unstoppable. Comfort blinds you to your potential. Character exposes your capacity. If you build character, wealth will follow. If you build discipline, happiness will rise. If you build integrity, doors will open. For the rest of your life, you must move like someone who knows that God is backing them. You must speak like someone who understands that heaven is standing with them. You must act like someone who believes that destiny is waiting for them. Stop shrinking to make others comfortable. Stop apologizing for wanting more. Stop hiding your gift because someone else feels intimidated. Stop lowering your standard because you fear rejection. You must walk in the fullness of your purpose, the boldness of your calling, and the confidence of your divine assignment. For the rest of your life, if you want to be wealthy and happy, you must choose your circle with wisdom. The people around you influence the spirit within you. If you walk with complainers, you become a complainer. If you walk with doubters, you become a doubter. If you walk with dreamers, you become a dreamer. If you walk with builders, you become a builder. If you walk with visionaries, you become a visionary. Your circle is a prophecy of your future. Your environment is a mirror of your destiny. Surround yourself with those who speak life, not fear, who bring hope, not confusion, who push you upward, not pull you downward. For the rest of your life, you must learn that your future is bigger than your past. Many people are imprisoned by their yesterday. Their mistakes become their prison. Their failures become their chains. Their regrets become their punishment. But God does not consult your past to determine your future. Your past is a lesson, not a life sentence. Your past is a chapter, not the entire book. You must rise from the ashes of who you used to be and step into the fire of who you are becoming. For the rest of your life, you must speak to yourself with authority. Tell yourself, I am blessed. Tell yourself, I am chosen. Tell yourself, I am destined for greatness. Tell yourself, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. Tell yourself, the blessing of the Lord makes me rich and adds no sorrow. Tell yourself, doors will open because God is with me. Tell yourself, opportunities will find me because grace surrounds me. The words you speak shape the world you live in. Speak with power. Speak with faith. Speak with conviction. For the rest of your life, if you want to be wealthy and happy, you must be willing to sacrifice what is good for what is great. You cannot step into your divine future while holding on to ordinary habits, ordinary thinking, ordinary decisions. The level of greatness you desire will demand a higher version of you. You must leave behind laziness, procrastination, excuses, fear, doubt, and self-sabotage. You must rise in discipline. Rise in courage, rise in self-control, rise in spiritual awareness. The life God wants to give you is too big for a small mindset. The success that belongs to you is too heavy for a weak spirit. The happiness waiting for you is too profound for an unstable heart. You must grow into the version of yourself that can handle the greatness you have prayed for. For the rest of your life, you must realize that nothing changes until you change. Heaven is ready. The blessing is ready. The opportunity is ready. The favor is ready. The breakthrough is ready. But God will not pour new wine into an old vessel. Transformation is the price for elevation. Discipline is the bridge to abundance. Faith is the key to happiness. Purity is the foundation of prosperity. If you want to be wealthy and happy, You must fight every limiting belief that rises in your mind. You must resist every voice that tells you it is impossible. You must silence every thought that says you are not enough. You must rebuke every fear that whispers you will fail. Refuse to let your mind become the enemy of your destiny. Train your mind to see opportunity where others see obstacles. Train your mind to see abundance where others see scarcity. Train your mind to see possibility where others see impossibility. For the rest of your life, you must move with intentionality. Wake up with purpose. Walk with clarity. Speak with authority. Act with conviction. Live with gratitude. Change your environment if it distracts you. Change your habits if they weaken you. Change your attitude if it slows you. Change your mindset if it limits you. Because the truth is this: God cannot bless who you pretend to be. He blesses who you decide to become. For the rest of your life, if you want to be wealthy and happy, you must remember that everything begins with God. He is the giver of wisdom, the source of peace, the provider of strength, the opener of doors, the lifter of heads, and the fountain of abundance. Stay connected to Him. When the storm comes, stay connected. When the blessing comes, stay connected. When confusion comes, stay connected. When opportunities rise, stay connected. Because connection to God is connection to destiny. Connection to God is connection to provision. Connection to God is connection to joy. For the rest of your life, walk boldly, live intentionally, believe fiercely, move courageously, and never forget, happiness and wealth are not found in what you chase. They are found in who you become. When God strengthens your character, wealth begins to follow your footsteps, because character is the foundation upon which divine prosperity rests. Many people pray for wealth, but they forget that wealth is a responsibility, and only a strengthened character can carry the weight of abundance without collapsing. When God begins to work on your character, He touches areas of your life that you may have ignored, hidden, or excused. He begins to purify your thoughts, refine your intentions, correct your motives, and adjust your behaviors so that when the blessing comes, you do not misuse it, destroy it, or allow it to destroy you. Wealth without character becomes a curse. Wealth with character becomes a tool for impact, influence, and generational transformation. God does not give blessings that will bury you. He blesses in proportion to the character you have allowed Him to build within you. There are people who rise quickly, but fall even faster because their character could not sustain the position they reached. Their discipline was shallow, their humility was weak, their patience was thin, and their integrity was negotiable. They were promoted beyond their spiritual maturity. And when the wind of wealth came, it blew them off their feet. But when God strengthens your character, He builds you into a person who can survive heights, endure pressure, handle the spotlight, and remain grounded even when favor lifts you. You begin to carry wealth with stability, not anxiety, with purpose, not pride, with clarity, not confusion. Your footsteps become guided by wisdom, guarded by grace, and strengthened by truth. When God strengthens your character, He teaches you that wealth is not a collection of possessions, but a reflection of divine trust. God cannot trust weak character with strong blessings. Before He increases what is in your hands, He increases what is in your heart. Before He enlarges your territory, He enlarges your capacity to remain faithful. Wealth begins to follow your footsteps when you walk in a way that honors God, even in private. when your integrity speaks louder than your excuses, when your obedience matters more to you than your comfort. God watches how you handle small opportunities before He releases greater ones. He watches how you speak when no one is listening, how you behave when no one sees, how you give when no one is applauding. Character is formed in the unseen places, and wealth begins to manifest in the visible places as a reward for the invisible work God has done within you. Some people ask God for financial breakthroughs, but their mouth destroys what their hands are trying to build. Their attitude sabotages their potential. Their temper damages their relationships. Their pride closes doors before they can even walk through them. Their impatience pushes away opportunities that were meant for them. This is why God begins by shaping character, because internal immaturity can destroy external blessings. When your character is strengthened, your decisions become wiser, your reactions become calmer, your perspective becomes clearer, and your choices become aligned with your destiny. You no longer chase money. Money begins to find you because you have become trustworthy, reliable, and steady in the eyes of God. When God strengthens your character, He breaks the habits that drain your potential. He confronts your weaknesses, not to shame you, but to free you. He reveals your blind spots because they will hinder your journey if left untouched. He pushes you away from laziness, excuses, procrastination, and destructive patterns. He disconnects you from people who pull you backward and surrounds you with those who lift you forward. He teaches you that discipline is the seed of prosperity, that consistency is the fuel of success, and that focus is the doorway to opportunity. When character grows, your life stops being controlled by emotion or impulse. You begin to act from strength, not reaction. You begin to think with purpose, not confusion. You begin to move with clarity, not hesitation. A strengthened character attracts wealth because wealth follows excellence, and excellence is born from character. When your character is shaped by God, you no longer cut corners, lie for convenience, cheat to get ahead, or compromise to fit in. Instead, you begin to deliver quality even when no one is watching, because your standard comes from God, not from man. Excellence demands effort. Integrity requires sacrifice, and discipline requires dying to comfort. But once these qualities become part of who you are, doors open that cannot be closed. Opportunities appear that others cannot see. Favor begins to surround you like a shield. People begin to trust you with responsibilities, projects, and resources because they sense the stability within you. Wealth follows character because character builds credibility, and credibility builds access. When God strengthens your character, He teaches you to master your emotions so that your emotions do not master your destiny. Wealth requires emotional stability. Happiness requires emotional maturity. Abundance requires emotional intelligence. You cannot walk into greatness if your anger pushes people away, your insecurity blinds your vision. Your jealousy poisons your relationships, or your fear limits your potential. God strengthens your character by teaching you patience, so you do not rush ahead of His timing. He teaches you humility, so you do not exalt yourself above others. He teaches you contentment, so you do not lose your peace chasing shadows. He teaches you perseverance, so you do not quit when the process becomes painful. Wealth follows those who are emotionally steady, because emotional instability destroys what financial abundance tries to build. Character is not built in comfort. Character is built in challenge. God uses difficult seasons to shape strong people. He uses delays to teach you endurance. He uses disappointment to teach you resilience. He uses rejection to teach you reliance on Him instead of people. He uses correction to teach you alignment. Every struggle you survive becomes a tool for your future. Every tear you cried becomes a seed that produces future strength. Every failure you experienced becomes a lesson that sharpens your wisdom. When your character is strengthened through hardship, you carry wealth with humility because you remember where you came from. You carry success with compassion because you understand struggle. You carry abundance with gratitude because you know what emptiness felt like. Wealth becomes a byproduct of who you became through your pain. When God strengthens your character, He removes pride because pride sabotages prosperity. Pride blinds. Pride deafens. Pride destroys relationships. Pride pushes away helpers. Pride disconnects you from divine instruction. God cannot elevate a proud spirit because pride refuses correction, rejects wisdom, and resists accountability. When character is strengthened, humility grows. And humility attracts wealth because humility listens, learns, adapts, apologizes when necessary, and evolves continuously. Humility opens doors that arrogance slams shut. Humility builds partnerships that ego destroys. Humility invites favor because favor rests where honor is present. When God strengthens your character, He teaches you stewardship. Wealth does not stay where there is wastefulness, carelessness, or irresponsibility. God blesses good stewards, those who value what they have, use what they have, and grow what they have. He teaches you to save with wisdom, to invest with patience, to give with generosity, to plan with foresight, and to manage with diligence. He teaches you not to live to impress, but to live intentionally. Wealth follows those who manage well because management is a sign of maturity, and maturity is evidence of character. What you fail to respect, you lose. What you fail to manage, you drain. What you fail to appreciate, you weaken. But what you steward well multiplies. When God strengthens your character, He prepares you for leadership, and wealth follows leaders. Not those who dominate, but those who serve. Not those who boast, but those who uplift. Not those who seek attention, but those who create transformation. Character makes your presence valuable. Character makes your voice respected. Character makes your actions impactful. When people sense integrity in you, they support you. When they sense honesty, they trust you. When they sense consistency, they rely on you. And when people trust and rely on you, financial doors open naturally because people invest in character before they invest in talent. When God strengthens your character, He increases your discernment. Discernment protects wealth. Discernment prevents bad partnerships, destructive relationships, and unwise decisions. Discernment helps you see beyond appearances because not every open door is from God. Not every opportunity is healthy. Not every compliment is sincere. Not every offer is beneficial. And not every person celebrating you wants to see you succeed. Discernment helps you avoid traps disguised as blessings. It helps you separate distractions from direction, noise from instruction, temptation from opportunity. When your discernment increases, your losses decrease and your blessings multiply. When God strengthens your character, He builds courage. Wealth requires courage. Happiness requires courage. Destiny requires courage. Courage to move when others doubt you. Courage to start when resources seem small. Courage to continue when progress seems slow. Courage to stand alone when the crowd disagrees. Courage to trust God when logic fails. You cannot step into abundance with a fearful heart. Fear limits, but character strengthened by God builds boldness. When courage grows, you begin to take steps that attract results. You begin to walk into places where favor is waiting. You begin to make decisions that align with your calling rather than your comfort. And wealth begins to follow courageous footsteps. When God strengthens your character, He aligns your priorities so that wealth never becomes your master. When wealth becomes your master, peace disappears, joy collapses, purpose weakens, relationships break. But when character is strong, wealth becomes a servant that supports your mission, not a ruler that controls your soul. You begin to use money to build, not to boast, to heal, not to harm, to uplift, not to oppress. Wealth becomes a tool for divine assignment because your heart is anchored in God, not in possessions. When God strengthens your character, He teaches you consistency. Consistency is the secret of unstoppable people. Consistency makes talent powerful, makes discipline effective, makes faith visible, and makes progress guaranteed. Many people start well, but do not continue. They begin with passion, but end in excuses. But when character is built, consistency becomes natural. And wealth follows consistent footsteps because consistency produces excellence. And excellence produces reward. When God strengthens your character, He surrounds you with the right people. Character attracts character. Integrity attracts integrity. Purpose attracts purpose. Stability attracts stability. When your character grows, the wrong people lose interest in you. Manipulators cannot influence you. Gossipers cannot enjoy your presence. Lazy people feel uncomfortable around you, but the right people recognize the strength within you, and they bring value, wisdom, opportunities, and partnership. Wealth multiplies in the presence of the right relationships. When God strengthens your character, He teaches you responsibility. Responsibility is the doorway to trust. Trust is the doorway to opportunity. Opportunity is the doorway to prosperity. When you prove that you can be trusted with little, God positions you for much. When you prove that you can handle pressure, God prepares you for promotion. When you prove that you can remain faithful in the small, God opens doors to the great. Wealth follows those who carry responsibility with discipline, humility, and obedience. When God strengthens your character, your footsteps become guided by purpose. And wherever purpose goes, provision follows. You stop chasing resources and begin attracting them. You stop searching for opportunities and begin creating them. You stop worrying about supply because supply begins to locate you. A strong character is a magnet for divine blessing because it reflects the nature of God. And wherever the nature of God is present, abundance is drawn naturally, consistently, and powerfully